So now I invite Vaishnavi and Vasudev, group number C12. You
Yes,
please
sir.
launch your slide, make yourself visible, and present.
Sir, am I visible?
Sir, my slide is visible.
I can see Vaishnavi. I can see Vasudev. Your slide, it is appearing. It is taking time.
Yes.
Is it now visible?
Yeah, it is visible. But where is the
Yeah.
yes? So
Yes, sir.
C12 group, you have made a good title slide. And so this is a non-ground vehicle military application. So this is an extension of Suman's topic. They
Yes,
had
sir.
talked for some different application. You
Military
were also
application.
talking for military application only. So yes, Vaishnavi and Vasudev, give us a good presentation. Please start.
So, good afternoon, everyone. Vasu. Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Vaishnavi. I and Vasudev will be presenting the topic non-ground vehicles military application.
Yeah, good
Next slide.
afternoon.
Okay, the outline of the presentation is as follows. Need for hybrid vehicles in the military, a generic hybrid power system architecture, electromagnetic launcher, hybrid powered ships, aircraft application, dismounted soldier system. Next slide. So what exactly is the need of hybrid vehicles in the military? Mainly, we'll be dealing with low fuel cost. That is the foremost being the low fuel cost to reduce the fossil fuel consumption and to minimize the cost impact that the fuel consumption has on the operation of the military. Secondly, the quiet HEVs are significantly helpful in the noise elimination. That is, the batteries, ultracapacitors, and the fuel cells that are being used in the HEV are silent watch power in stationary vehicles to avoid detection. Lastly, it helps in the storage of power, that is possible to create utility level voltages to run various items of stationary equipments in the military. That being said, it can help us to reduce the use of AP units. That is something which can is used in the aircraft.
Vasudev, turn off your
Yes,
audio.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Back on the slide. Yeah, like auxiliary power unit is something which is used in the aircraft to produce power. So due to that, it helps us to save the cost and weight of such devices and transporting them to the field. Next slide. So non-ground vehicle military application, as the name suggests, we'll be dealing with air and waterborne vehicles, that is aircraft, ship, and boats. But some of the applications may not even be directly vehicular in nature. For example, an electromagnetic gun. In a vehicle, the electromagnetic gun, of course, it also needs some other equipment such as IC engine and fuel cell. What they do is they recharge the battery and the ultra capacitor, as you can see in the power system architecture. So to initially start the electromagnetic gun, we have to supply it with a certain amount of power, which is being given by the battery and the ultra capacitor. And after some time, the battery and the ultra capacitor may get drained. So to recharge them, we'll be using a IC engine and a fuel cell. So this is not the hybridization that is taking place over here. The microgrid is interfacing with the common bus. And for this system, it is being synchronous with the whole system, that is IC engine, fuel cell, battery, ultra capacitor. The microgrid will supply power from the source to the destination. Over here, the vehicle 1 and vehicle 2, they are HEVs or EVs. They are exchanging power with the system. And if we take ICE engine in this place, it will be generating power as well as supplying it while it is being stationary. Next slide. What exactly is an electromagnetic launcher? It is basically like a catapult which uses electromagnetic force to propel items at a very high speed by accelerating them very quickly. Let us look at the principle of the electromagnetic launcher. The electromagnetic launcher, mainly it contains three parts. Firstly, foremost, a power supply. A power supply is to supply the electrical force. Secondly, two parallel rails are used, which are made of some conductive metal. And in between that, an armature is placed, which will be housing the projectile. So the working process, current flows from the electric terminal of the rail. From there, it crosses over to the negative terminal through the armature. and so due to which there is a electric current in the system. This current induces a magnetic field. The magnetic field applies force to the projectile, which is known as a Lorentz force. Basically, this Lorentz force pushes the projectile out of the system. Next slide. For that purpose, a high amount of power is required. For that purpose, we need to, after each shot, it is necessary to recharge the system through some hybrid power system. So basically, this is a hybrid propulsion in an indirect vehicular sense. Next comes the advantages. Like electromagnetic guns can accelerate projectiles to around 6 to 7 kilometers, whereas hybrid performance guns has around 2 kilometers per second. There is also no need for fuels or explosives, and the applications are the speed produced by electromagnetic launcher can put satellites, etc., into low Earth orbit, and it can also be used as a weapon in modern warfare. Next.
So am I visible? Hello.
Yeah, Vasudev, you are not visible, but anyway, you can give a presentation.
Okay, I'll take over from here. Hybrid power ships. US Navy has found out that diesel can be directly reformed into a hydrogen by a chemical process. This can be used in a fuel cell to generate electric power to drive an electric motor. We know that the speed that ships will be relatively slow, so the peak power may not be needed. Therefore, there is no need for additional power here. Even if the peak power is required sometime, it may be possible for us to use ultra capacitor. This application is a typical case of hybrid power system, in the sense that diesel reformer system is an electrochemical system. It may need initial startup through some pilot electrical system of the small size. But once it is started, fuel cell itself could maintain the diesel reformer system without intervention. Here we can see the construction. The input are air, diesel and water. Diesel, water and air are used as input, as you guys can see here. Now working. They react and give out a mixture of a gas around 30% of hydrogen and other inert gases like carbon dioxide, steam and nitrogen. The output is fed to a catalytic burner to trigger the fuel cell. The remaining hydrogen reacts with additional air using another catalytic burner to convert it into a steam. Advantages are here ICE engine is not needed. There will be no pollution. Gas turbine based ship engine has efficiency to 16 to 18%. The fuel cell has 37 to 52%. Now, aircraft application. This is already explained by my friends Naveen and Visharadha, but I'll add some more points. With the current energy technology that is available to us, electric and hybrid propulsion systems in this area cannot be considered as feasible, because we consider hybrid or electric technology for some advantages over the other, that are fuel economy, cost, and environmental friendly, etc. Aircraft do not have fluctuating drive cycles as ground vehicles, and also when compared to ships, they have lot of space available, which is absent here. So the large battery or high power motor is unrealistic in aircraft. With all the conditions, only electric aircraft that we see today are some unmanned drones or very tiny propulsion drive planes. The examples of these propulsion are Helios prototype, which is there in figure 4, and another one is aircraft that is made by Falls Air Vehicles in the UK. This has 100 HP combustion engine, a solar array and an electric motor. The fuel consumption is claimed to be 101 per hour of flight, which is 17 times lower fuel consumption than a regular helicopter. Now, dismounted soldier system. What is dismounted soldier system? This employs a soldier who is not physically within the vehicle or does not have any direct connection for getting power or energy from a vehicle or otherwise. Reasons to discuss DSS in HEV concept. It is not actually a HEV, but the architecture of HEV has some similarities to the architecture of dismounted soldier, that is DSS. Both of them are hybrid power systems. The concept of managing the power is also similar between both of them. Even though DSS is not a propulsion system, the power system could be a hybrid and uses similar power management concepts. According to the UK Ministry Defense, or many studies that we have that UK Ministry Defense has conducted, the supplies carried in the field could be order of 45 kg. Weight of the power sources carried 4 kg or more. The load demand could be as small as 1 volt, 1 watt for small devices, and 100 to 200 for certain electronic equipment. Battery used range can be from AA size to much larger ones, weighing few kg. In addition, soldiers can carry a cooling or heating jacket in future. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so very good presentation. We came to know about the military applications of this EHV or hybrid electric vehicle as well. So we are stopping with this session now here. Now it's 2:30.